Hello, Hadley and Eliza. Boy, I'm missing you guys so much. I hope this is over soon so we can go out for ice cream and dinner and everything else and just see each other. So, anyways, we are up to chapter 6, which I believe is the final chapter in this book, in the first book. So we'll see if you want me to keep going on, I will to another book. If not, I'll pause here and then see if you want me to do it. So, chapter 6. Remember, Sergeant, what's his name, of the Mounties showed up yesterday into the Moscow restaurant. So Sergeant Beeswax jumped to his feet and rushed out the back door. We all crowded after him. In the alley, he got down on all fours and pulled a magnifying glass out of his back pocket. He examined various scraps of paper and garbage. Then he jumped to his feet and sniffed the air. Licked one finger and held it up to test the wind, and turned to Steve. "Dog rustlers," he said. "Dog rustlers?" "Yes," Pierre Schwartz answered. "My contacts in the police tell me that a band of desperados named Slade, Blackie, and Nick are operating in this area. I have no doubt they are the ones who have purloined your prize sled dog. He's worth his weight in gold, you know." "He is," Steve asked. "He is?" Steve asked. "Not he is." "Certainly," Sergeant Pierre said. "Everybody knows that a dog is man's best friend. Well, a good sled dog can mean the difference between life and death on the trail. It is my conviction that these three scoundrels, Nick, Blackie, and Slade, will take your dog to the North Country and sell him for a king's ransom." "Oh, no," Steve said. "We've got to stop him. Let's call the police." "That won't be necessary," Sergeant Schwartz said. "Don't forget, I am here. We'll pursue them at once." We hurried through the magic Moscow. Sergeant Schwartz called to his sleeping dog. "Up, Hercules! Up, Malamute!" The dog snorted. "Oh, drat," Sergeant Schwartz said, and gathered the big dog up in his arms and carried him out to the truck, still sleeping. "He's the very devil in a fight," the sergeant said. "If the rascals try to resist, Hercules will be all over them." Sergeant Schwartz's truck refused to start. "I'll get my horse," Bruce the mailman said. "Good," Sergeant Schwartz said. "They won't be expecting a horse." In a few minutes, Bruce the milkman galloped up in the milk wagon. I was impressed. I had never seen Cheryl gallop. In fact, I had never have dreamed that she could gallop. Hercules was still sleeping off his moron's delight. He burped as we transported him to the back of Sergeant Schwartz's stall truck to the milk wagon. "That way, there's no time to lose," Sergeant Schwartz shouted. Bruce the milkman clucked his tongue, and Cheryl started off at a fast trot. She wasn't about to gallop with 3 men, a kid, and a fat dog on board. "How do you know which way they went?" Steve asked. "Mountie intuition," the sergeant said, now keeping a sharp lookout. "They could be anywhere." We trotted through the streets of Hoboken. Every now and then, Sergeant Schwartz would say, "Sharp left here," or "Turn right, Constable Bruce." In his excitement, he seemed to think we were all Mounties. Sometimes he'd shout, "Oh no, you Malamutes!" In between him, there was theme music from this. In between, he'd hum the theme music from Sergeant Schwartz of the Yukon television show. "Slate, Nick, and Blackie are masters of disguise," the sergeant said, "and it's possible that they're disguised your dog too. Don't let anything suspicious escape your notice. It's too bad I won't have my revolver, but we've all got Hercules in the back. If they put up a fight, he'll surprise them," Sergeant Schwartz chuckled. Hercules burped. We only had one false alarm. Sergeant Schwartz stopped a car with 4 fat ladies in it and accused them of being Slade, Nick, Blackie, with Edward dressed up as the fat lady. Steve managed to calm them down before promising them free morons' delights at the Magic Moscow. Then we sighted Edward. He was trotting down the street, following a little girl who was eating a tuna fish sandwich as she walked. Bruce the milkman reined Cheryl to a stop, and Sergeant Schwartz leaped out of the wagon. "So Blackie, Slade, and Nicky are working with an accomplice," the sergeant said. "Clever of them to use a little girl." "Stand still, little girl," he bellowed. "Don't go for your gun, I warn you." Steve grabbed Edward and put him in the milk wagon. Hercules opened one eye, looked at his grandson, and went back to sleep. Edward hopped into his customary seat and barked hello to his friend Cheryl. Sergeant Schwartz warned the little girl to give up her life of crime. He tried to get her to tell him where Nick, Slade, and Blackie were hiding, but she wouldn't talk. She just chewed on her little tuna fish sandwich and looked at the sergeant as if he was crazy. Finally, we went back to the Magic Moscow. The four fat ladies Sergeant Schwartz had tried to arrest were waiting there for their free Moron's Delights. The sergeant, Hercules, and Edward all had Moron's Delights, while Bruce the milkman found the loose wire in Sergeant Schwartz's truck and got it started. Finally, everybody shook hands: Steve, Bruce the milkman, me, Sergeant Schwartz, the four fat ladies, and Edward. Hercules had dozed off in the middle of his second Moron's Delight, and he had to be carried to the truck. Sergeant Schwartz loaded Hercules into the front seat and climbed in beside him. Hercules, he said to the half-asleep dog, "This case is closed." Then Sergeant Schwartz switched on a tape deck which played the theme music from the Sergeant Schwartz of the Yukon television show, put the truck into gear, and drove off into the sunset over Jersey City. The end. So anyways, that is the first book. There are 3 others. Let me know, text me, email me, call me. Let me know if you want me to read another one, okay? I enjoyed doing it.